There we go. I don't know why every now and then I have to like unplug it and plug it back in, but oh well. It's so like unique, I can pick it up. Oh well, all good. Today we're gonna do some Blazor. We're gonna do some .NET 10 Blazor. Mhm. Mhm. Make sure that scale's right. Yeah, it looks right. Okay. Hey, Mungalo. Welcome, welcome. Oh, hey, how's it going, Gray? Hi, I subbed you, but I gotta go. It's my bedtime. I appreciate that, Gray. Hey, Leroy, how's it going? What's up, brother? Seen you on SC not too long ago. Made my return. God, it feels great. I'm excited to see where it's going. Feels like now it's time to get back in before I'm fish out of water. Yeah. Yeah, looking good, man. Lots of progress. They seem to have their stuff together. Hey, how's it going, Rage? It's Godowin. We're making a character. Lots. Lots of tech stuff. We are at the great art ball. Where, you know, we just work on art for eternity until it's sounds about right, yep. How long ago have you been around, Rage? Do you want to see we took a week off and we worked on a prototype taking Unforgiven Space's code and converting it into a third-person controller for fun. Because I wanted to see, like, how, you know, portable the code is. Nice. So this was like 8 days of a prototype, to give you an idea. And what I did for this was art assets that I had in Unity already. I did make this airship, and what I wanted to explore, as you can see, the airship is 24 meters by, you know, 8, exactly the same as a medium ship in Unforgiven Space. I wanted to just take a break and just play around with some of the Unforgiven Space code base and the zone system and all this kind of stuff. And I just wanted to see, you know what I mean? Like, especially with AI, we could vibe code, right? Like a branch, and throw together some little things, right? And give myself a chance to play around with some features that we don't have, like the group system. I never made a group system, like a party system prior. Didn't have like a lot of the skills and abilities framework like that could be used for skills and abilities. Obviously we don't have in the US, like there are skills and abilities, but we don't have the you know, the framework. I'm turning down the music a little bit, you know, for them to be like in a wheel, like hacking and stuff like that, right? So just a couple days, whipped up a little, you know, kind of a little placeholder city, you know, it's got a little dock, you know, and the reason why I did this, check this out. This is the I wanted to explore some of the NPCs and aggro and some things in like isolated environment. So like here we have our characters, same animations. It's an Unforgiven Space, only you know, they have a melee weapon. And if I join, you know, I wanted to get some area of effects. I wanted to play around. Right, it's all working. Let's join with a third character. Oh, this one's in the middle of nowhere. Right, and so aggro works, right? Like, you know, in multiplayer. I can bring this over here, you know. I'm gonna kill this thing real quick, and I'm gonna show you the magic here. Okay, so I'm gonna invite this other player to a party. Now we have a party, but this is where it gets cool. This is why this exists. So we're gonna take this player. We're gonna throw this player here. We're gonna take the server character. We're gonna throw the server character in over here, and we're gonna use this character here as a test. So we just seamlessly transition in, come up to the ship, and I'm gonna put this thing over here in a death spiral. So let me let's just give it a death spiral. Alt tab. Everything is flawless. Now, I don't know if you know this, but like, what code is in this game that's fantasy? Obviously the new third-person controller, and the skills and abilities, which we see here for healing. Right, so we got like skills and abilities, like an AoE ring for healing and doing damage, tab targeting. But if I jump out, right, you know, as you can see, there's some very familiar architecture happening, you know what I mean? So this was cool because this came from a new concept, a new idea that I had, which actually came from a change we made in Unforgiven systems to how we handle players. So I was trying to find a way to solve the problem, the temporary problem of cargo, right? Like, what do we do with cargo? You know what I mean? And what I mean by that, I mean like literally network object cargo, right? Like when they're actually stored and they're in a physicalized state where like we don't want them to be boxes anymore. We just want them to be data, right? How do we handle that transition between data and cargo? And I explored many options, right? And what I ended up deciding is creating like a universal spawner that handles, yeah, we have a whole new station system now. We have like actual full, you know, like fleshed out what will be like sections, like dynamic building blocks for stations, so that they can be a little bit cooler. But let me go to my multiplayer test project here, and I'll show you what I mean. I just need to make sure the UI turns on the debug UI by default. Okay. Let's go back to multiplayer. So this will all make sense here shortly. So what we've been doing over the last month, Rage, is deleting code. And what I mean by that, like before, I've always had multiplayer code and single player code to test. It was easier at the time to test in single player, make it multiplayer. But then there's multiple classes, and sure, they have the same interfaces, and you know, we're using interfaces for everything, and sure, that works, right? But when I made the test prototype for Sea of Clouds, right, it kind of like, but with all the experience that I had, I realized like how limiting it is to try to keep all this extra code for the sake of testing, right? Especially when in reality a multiplayer player can just have their own authority and it can be tested locally anyway, right? There's no you know, particular limitation to that. So let me close. I got so much stuff here running. Now they're good to let's close you out. Too much volumetrics happening there. Okay. So here, let's we get some VRAM. Come on, give me some VRAM. Okay, right. So in the test world now, this server is running at 15 FPS for testing. That's why you can see how laggy the IK system is right now, but not the movement of the world. So let me bring in another client. Right, so we have another client here. We can kind of, we're using full scene level interpolation, so physics interpolation for everything now. Right, so this is like a worst case scenario. Let's go join another client. Let's get a green one here. So we have a couple clients. So now in multiplayer, all systems work. So missions, ships, all this, you know, all these features. And when we come over here, we can observe. Yeah, let's observe the cargo grid from many different players, including the server. Right, so now we can come over. We can spawn in cargo. Boop, boop, boop. There's one of each, right? And they're all there. Right, I can throw them around. They're fine. They're cargo. Right. So these are all maintained on the like on the server world. Right, they're loose. We call them like loose cargo. Right, they're and even with the, like all of this is running like a pretty good frame, like 85 FPS per client, and the game is running at 15 FPS. It's just interpolation is working. Right, so we're doing a bunch of tests here, but if we go here and we look at the debug, this zone, maybe there's nothing in it. Anyway, let's take this, throw it in here. Yeah, and show this one here. Now they're turning white because they have a different rendered representation of themselves now. So if we grab all three of them and we lock them in place, yeah, apparently is the server debug? No, the area debug is not turned on now. I'm supposed to be seeing an overview of them, but either way. The idea now is when we anchor the objects right into yeah, I just kind of broke it. I wasn't supposed to do that on the server right now. He wasn't supposed to do that. Yeah, so now it's let me just unload. Ignore the duplicates. The duplicates were made by the server, like going crazy. But anyway, now when we put these into like a cargo volume. So whether it's like here inside a classical cargo volume or on the ship, right? It actually works, right? So there's a spawner, a cargo spawner within the ship itself, right? That will spawn these in, but on the ship they're just data anyway. Oh, why the debug doesn't work, right? And for late joiners and everything works. All the cargo is working. Yeah, server characters. Yeah. So they become like a data array of vector 3 eyes. And now like I can jump in. Like doesn't matter who owns what. Like I can have a co-pilot. Right, I can have a pilot. I gotta figure out this gimbal lock thing that's happening. Check this out too. Let me find where my player is. Where is he? Oh yeah, here we go. Over here. Check this out. So look at the animations now. Woo! Yeah, exactly. Now you can literally run and jump into the EVA. Right, and it's all graceful. right? So like that's a lot better. You know what I mean? And now when all of this gets into the main build, it's gonna look a lot cooler. Just like this is like just the tech stuff that I'm working on. A lot of stuff in the build is broken right now because everything is kind of coming online, like the authority, the multi-crew, the ability to have like authority over different sections. Like all of this is actually working. The camera system has now been fully changed to truly anchor the camera correctly, so there's no jitter in multiplayer. Keep in mind, 15 FPS is what we're actually running at right now, right? Just you can tell by the UI elements. See the UI elements themselves, which are being kind of positioned without interpolation. Right, so this is like a worst case scenario, kind of like a thing of what I'm doing now. But anyway, targeting works on the ship. Ships work in multiplayer. Missions work in multiplayer. Right, like a lot of the gameplay. You know what I mean? But that's not but what I've been working on lately is something even cooler, and it's a way of world streaming. So we have a 64-bit game. So we have unlimited space, right? But we don't have unlimited resources. So I want to show you this new system I'm working on. It's a shader. It's a custom shader that drives the space environment. So here, I'm just going to host a session. Right now, all these positions we see on the edges over here, those are other star systems, like fully other star systems. They're nothing crazy right now. They're just they're just a position in space. And the way this new system will work is the server keeps track of all players, right? Because now players aren't players. Players are clients. You connect as a client. The server loads your player information. And then before your player for your client is created, the server knows where in space you were and then knows to load that star system. So in other words, now the way the server works is the server will actually load up a star system, which loads up the star, loads up the space environment configuration resource, and then loads up, the planets and the space stations, right? And when a server doesn't need that, right, like doesn't need to handle that area of space, it can unload them, right? Like it just needs to know where all the players are. So to make that transition seamless for the user experience, right, I created a shader that pre-fetches and preloads all, pretty much a triangulation of the nearest 3 star systems, because the game always knows where we are in, true space. But as I approach these areas, it will dynamically blend, right, our star map to the skybox of the new system, which will drive all the dynamic lighting and the ambient occlusion and all of that stuff. So the effect like of warping and coming out of space and being in another star system, all you have to do is physically teleport to that location and everything will build in around you, right? So like the skyboxes here are just procedurally generated 1K with some stars. There's nothing spectacular about them. They will be artistically generated, unique to each location, right? And the fade between them is pretty bad right now, because it's just a proof of concept. But the idea is that when a server starts, right, it'll pretty much control one primary star system that it'll load in, but it'll also alternatively load up other star systems depending on the player needs. So what I mean by that is we're at one of these star systems and there's a jump gate, and we know the jump gate, as an example, goes over here to this other star system, just as an example, right? So, here in our little world, we have our star loaded in, and we have our child planets and our child space stations, right? And the servers loaded them in and turned them on, and they're all being simulated. But when we want to go over here, and the over here doesn't exist, right? There isn't a server running that area, nor are we running the area. So what'll happen is when we go to the jump gate will pretty much, you know, like ask if there's another server running for the other star system. If it's not, it'll tell the backend infrastructure start one up, like start up another Docker container, or like, you know, like Kubernetes container of that star system. At the same time, this client, my client, is gonna, and this server for my client is gonna go ahead and load that star system in. So I'm gonna like load in over there, right? Star system with children and everything it needs. So that way, like, I can start the process of turning on the jump gate. So having the jump gate turn on, do its thing. Other server has loaded up with, you know, that location already loaded that it's managing, and has simultaneously also loaded up this system. So it needs two of the spawners are going to spawn both of the, you know, star systems, right? Because they're both kind of needed right now. But, you know, the idea then is if I go through the jump gate, immediately there's a peer reset. So there's a multiplayer peer connection to the other server with the initial data that it needs, like the token, and seamlessly your scene tree has transitioned over to the other server, which would have both star systems anyway. And then on the original server that was running, which doesn't have you anymore, it'll sit there and wait for a bit. And if there's no players or anything, it'll just unload the other star system. It'll always keep its primary star system, right, that it's kind of managing, and it can, you know, manage multiple. But that would be the way that it works, right? And everything will be far enough away that unless you were in jump, you know, unless you're like without the jump gate, you'd be sitting here forever, right? I believe so, yeah. So then we just need to get some nice skyboxes, right? And kind of get the systems kind of like spawning in. For now, it'll just be, you know, a lot of the very similar, you know, variations of the different truck stops, right? This is like V2 of the stations, so these, right? So there'll be many different randomized variations of the right, like of different stations, right? Like some have refinery modules, hospital modules, all the same kind of stuff with a different skin. So this is what I'm working on now, is this dynamic process of generating these and kind of like fleshing them all out. I want to create now the, you know, the gray box experience of everything, you know, like kind of the so we know what the kind of final art, and because a lot of the placeholder stuff is cool, it works, you know, but it's you really need to kind of get the truck stops in to really see, you know, how long it'll take to traverse around and get from A to B. Yeah, so that's what's being worked on now, right? It's art is still continuing, and I've been just building up tools. Space Edit, the tool I was working on originally. Yep. Is it possible to get a roller coaster to move along a track using like gravity, kind of like how real roller coasters work? I'm not sure how to simulate like centrifugal motion. A lot of systems, like I've been working on an editor, like Space Edit has done a lot of yes, the Space Editor is going to be cool. And I've been mostly like building tooling. Like I'm trying to just find a way to scale, right? Like how do we scale faster? Like how can we make things playable to a point that we can like show it off, you know, and kind of, you know, reach the next step of progress, you know, like get we would get more support if we had more to show, you know what I mean? But it's like you know, it's like everything. Yeah, all good. You're gonna turn a bit of rigid body. Have we going? Good luck on their programming. Thanks again for popping by. Making a web app. Hey, Steve. Yep, I'm making a courseware website for Godot, mostly for C#. I want to make a place to put all my tutorials. Remember how, like, I keep wanting to do YouTube videos and we never do YouTube videos? Like, if Fixius was here right now, he would be like mocking me. So I've been doing a lot of like .NET Entity Framework stuff, and like, you know, for the Galog rewrite, which is now up and running, and a few other things. And I need to get Uniform's help. Like, I got all the framework done now for the front end and the API. And oh no, there he is. Right, yeah. So I want to make a character that could be kind of like expressive, that we could use and animate for the website. And then I want to make, you know, the Godot.college website using, you know, like WebAssembly, right, with all of the more modern industry standards, like the ability to have two-factor authentication, right, to have all our personal data that we can download, email, you know, the whole shebang, right, two-factor, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, and you know, add page for it. So what's happening with it? It's just waiting for help right now. So I have the galacticlogistics.net, and I have all of the login systems working for it, right? So you know, trade ports, like, you know, just it's here running. Also Blazor, it's got it, you know, like all my testing. But right, so I want to get, so the back end stuff works, but now it's just a matter of just getting data. So I made a big admin section for it, but now we gotta go and re-add everything into the new platform, and then I can adjust all the tooling and stuff. So like everything is now ready, like Steve, to kind of be used, right? Like I just have prototypes of everything that are working, and I really just need to get, like, right, like all this is now working. So, you know, we have a very basic .NET conversion from PHP, and in it, you know, just need to get help, you know what I mean, with collecting data and working on the automations. Who is doing the screen capture? I mean, there's mostly right now active just Uniform and Crusador and a few others. Right, not enough to update everything, you know, quick enough for the most part, and I still need to get the box sizes and a few other things in. But the initial bit of data can be ported over. I really just need people taking the data from the old site and just adding it to the new site, like literally just like a one-time effort of just migrating things over, because the databases are so different with the Postgres and the way that I do migrations that it's pretty much like totally different. Like, it makes no sense to even keep any of the old data. I just need to like re-add the trade ports, re-add locations, and just put the work in. And when the work is in, then, you know, then I can go forward with it. But, you know, that's the that's the you know, where we are with it. Why does pages still, like, don't render? This is broke. How are you gonna deal with SIG SKU sizes versus how expensive the material is? No idea. I don't know. Like, I haven't played the game in that long. I have no idea what that even is. You know what I mean? I don't even know what you mean by SKU sizes versus expense. Yeah, let's get... I wonder why his bones are like so big. Okay, so we need to get rid of this. Yeah, let's remove... You know what sphere? Like a roller coaster on a track? Like, can you... I think you can follow a curve in Blender. No idea how long we would want this arm to be ultimately. Maybe it doesn't matter, and we can kind of stretch it out. It's 0.5, too short. It should be -1. That might be like too crazy, actually. Let's do 75. Yeah, that works. I was hoping the one with just rigid bodies. I need power lines. I have my... Oh, those are cool. Have you ever looked into Red Dead and or Red Redemption 2? They're like they're just a crazy amount of work they did in representing power, even for something so like primitive at the time. It's pretty crazy, yeah. Yeah, I think we need to apply this. No, it'll give more or less resolution. Let's just apply it more. Get rid of this. If we apply it, we can get rid of these loops. You discover that SketchUp has the ability to create city maps. Cool. Can we just leave an instance here and just wait? Will it just work? How do I mirror this? It had a shoulder to it. So it's weighed more to the shoulder. wonder if we just drove. You're testing 4.5. Have a good one, Leroy. I wonder if I want these in resolution. Maybe. Yeah, the question is, how do we mirror this? I still gotta redo weights, but fine for now. Yeah, we'll do a shoulder bone, which we won't move, and we'll do like the upper arm. So upper clavicle will be shoulder. And this way we can kind of keep the weights. Yeah, because if we do this, call this one shoulder, right. Root. Shoulder. And then we take this and we kind of extrude it. Give it like a little bit of... Gotta be relaxed a bit more, but how do I mirror this now? To the other side. I have a collection mirror, but it's not gonna help me. I guess I'm gonna have to just copy this mesh over. Get rid of this collection. If we copy the bones over, we can move it, repaint them in the bone locations. This should probably now be moved. Let's just move. Maybe I'll finish this guy. My goal is to get this guy in the Godot today. Anyone want to do some research for me and see if we can figure out how we can? I think this is fine. Like this extra bone. Like this is perfectly fine for now. It's enough rotation. This is great. It's fine. Like it's anchored. We just need to figure out how to mirror these bones. So I'm using like upper name R, arm R, hand R, and then upper and topper hand. We have root and we have head. We need to mirror these bones. How do we mirror the armature? Bones, overlays, mirror, auto IK, pose options. Apply changes to the opposite bones. No, so we could be editing them before, but I don't think if we were in edit mode, if we did do a duplicate now. Anyone have any ideas? Let's go do a little Google. Let's see, under mirror left armature. Okay, blah 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 blah. Oh, we'll just, yeah. If I can mirror it, we can just duplicate these and reposition them, but gotta get the bones over there. And I could do each and just place them. Was that a Rig Pro have anything? Remat, Smart, Mirror. Mirror. Quick rigged. I'm just gonna film myself left note. Sorry. Once you apply your mirror modifier, there's still an X mirror checkbox in the left-hand corner. Use it all the time. It's not really mirror editing it, you know what I mean? So what's the point of the... How do we do with the bones? Let's just go check it out, Grok. So, wounded. Under, near, bones. Well, select an armature symmet L to R. Based on L or R suffix. Select an armature, object mode, 3D cursor as pivot. Select armature symmet. Okay. Pick the pivot, armature. Minus X to X. Okay. So we need to, okay, so we gotta do this. So we select all these, armature, symmetrize this. No? So weird. Okay, cursor should be origin. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Armature. Yeah, minus X to X. Which side do we copy the bones on? We're in minus X, so why doesn't it work? I don't have a keyframe there. I don't get it. What are we doing wrong? We need like a reference. No. Edit mode, select bones. Armature, a mirror. Use .l. I mean, we can rename them, but they're using that. Shoulder.r. It's the character's right, but I guess it is their left. These are all .r. We're going to make it .l. Okay, we're in edit mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yay! Cool. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay, so now this one. This shouldn't have clear parent. Oh, because we're still doing origins. Okay. Weird. We gotta clear it, maybe? Hang on. Is it vertex groups need to be reset? Are we in rest pose or something? No? Oh, I get it. What is this arm? This arm length. Okay, arms are in. I don't know why we're not getting the weights. We should be. Right? This should now just weigh. Maybe not mirror it. Automatic weights. Let's redo it. And then we gotta redo the, okay, alright, we got this. Okay. Yeah, it works. Will do. Will do. I guess wash it. We'll be right back. Okay, so what does this work? We have our new page with our BB, here's our context. Are we binding the markdown? Can it... But just string. I think it's fine. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. Let's see. we do while the AI is doing things. Sure. Mhm. Yeah, it doesn't like new page. I think a new page needs to be like a model, a modal. Let's do it. Let's just do admin pages. So admin pages. We'll just list pages. Pages in the database. The button. Add page. Well, we do pop up. Let's show a modal. Or do we want a modal? We'll change the way that works. So for main pages, header content. Edit page doesn't have one for name, we'll leave one. Yes. And we'll update, you want to quit? Yep, sure. Create a new migration. Content page name. Sure. Date. Rerun. Okay. Alright, so now we just have pages, add a page. I think we're going to need the mud dialog integrated. Because I think server rendering isn't going to work by default. No. He's rendering the page. Yep, add dialogue not working. I'm not using the dialogue. Remove. Should be like I'm a dialogue base, actually. Dialogue. Opponent. Yeah, I think it's just this. So for the dialogue, casting founder, I like yeah, it should be this. Yeah, that's right. I think these. Is at. What is needed? I think this page just needs it. What's using dialogue? is the render mode? Like there's the main pages. This one requires interactive server side. Your app must be interactive server side for WASM. It is, because our nav menu works fine. Right, page render mode. If our content is sitting running, the render mode is server. Because counter would be in render mode. Min pages. Unclick show dialog. That should be right. Oh my goodness. Inject the iDialog service. Yes. Seven o'clock. All right, we're gonna get ready and raid out here in just a little bit. What is this? Oh, previewing it as marked anyway. Down the block. This pre-tags, okay, good. Alright, let me end it here on YouTube. I'm gonna find someone to raid.